YouTube, welcome back to my channel. I'm Tina B, a disability inclusion educator, and on today's video, I wanted to offer you 5 practical tips you can start doing today to help your own personal development journey get started. So I wanted to start by sharing with you my own personal development journey and how I've gotten to the place where I'm at. So I'm a mom of 5 kiddos, and my middle daughter, Noelle, is diagnosed with muscular dystrophy. So being a mom is hard enough, let alone adding on top of that being a special needs mom. I have a lot on my plate and a lot to juggle. And if it wasn't for these practices and the things that I've learned through personal development, I don't think that I'd be able to be handling and living my life as successfully as I am. If that's something you would like to hear more about, go ahead and keep watching this video. If you like this kind of content, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you know every time I get a new video out to you. And also like this video if you enjoy this content. So without further ado, here's my video. So my journey of personal development started actually when I was a high school basketball coach. I was a varsity basketball coach for 4 years. And I loved every moment of it. I am a coach through and through. I love every aspect of it. But really, I started attending some really amazing coaching clinics that were basically personal development conferences underneath. I learned about leadership, how to lead a team, how to run great drills, how to inspire people, how to be a great influencer, all of these things. But the thing was, I was always using it towards my team, towards basketball, towards, creating this amazing team. So everything I was learning was actually for everybody else in my life. It really wasn't for me. Now, it did help me to show up better and do things better, but I wasn't realizing that all these strategies and lessons I was teaching my players, I could be actually using in my own life to have an even better life. So it was about 2 years ago when actually one of my daughter's nurses, because Noelle has nursing about 20 hours a day. And sometimes these nurses become like your friends because you're with them so often. And this nurse has definitely become a friend. So my nurse friend told me about this book that she was reading called Girl Wash Your Face. And I was like, okay, I've never heard of that, but sure, I'll read it. So I started reading this book, and literally within the first chapter, I read something so profound that it changed my life, I think, from a core level. And what I read was, if you're unhappy, that's on you. Wow, that was quite the wake-up call that I needed, especially given all the circumstances of my life. I feel like I was sitting there kind of in the pity party of, my life is so hard, I have so much going on, I can't be happy because of this, that, and the other. I can't be happy because my husband's building a business and he works so much. Or I can't be happy because my kids need a lot of attention and they're very demanding. Or I can't be happy because my daughter has a chronic illness and I don't know what tomorrow's going to bring. And I have to have nurses in my house and I have to have doctor's appointments. And literally the list went on and on of all the reasons that I couldn't be happy. And then I read those words. If you're unhappy, that's on you. It was like kind of like a punch in the heart, or I guess in the gut, but also that accountability I'd been looking for. That accountability of understanding that my life is up to me, but I'm the one who's in charge of my happiness. I'm the one who's in charge of my attitude and my outlook. I'm the one who's in charge of me. Now, granted, there's been many times in my life where I've been the overcomer, where I've been the hero in my story, especially when Noelle was living. When I lived in a hospital for 4 months, and when I came home with a chronically ill daughter on all this medical equipment, in those moments, in those scenarios when life was hard, it was easy for me to rise up. I'm an athlete also through and through, so it's like in adversity, I knew how to rise. In hard challenges, I knew, real hard ones, I knew how to rise up. But kind of in the everyday, I guess just the normal things of life, I didn't know how to find joy and I didn't know how to rise up. And so after I read those words, if you're unhappy, that's on you, I was like, okay, you know what? I have been unhappy and that's on me. And it's also on me to change it. So I began to invest in personal development in my life in order to change that scenario, to change that mindset of being unhappy. And how do I get out of that? And these are the 5 things that I started to incorporate into my life to change that. And I think So the first thing I started was I started to consume great content. I started reading amazing books, listening to podcasts, watching webinars of people in the space that I wanted to be in, or the people who were speaking the languages that I wanted to learn. A couple of my favorites, obviously, one is Rachel Hollis, and she has written Girl Wash Your Face and Girl Stop Apologizing. And both of those books, especially if you're a mom or a woman, are so specific to us as females. And she speaks straight to the heart of the lies that we believe, the struggles that we have in our own lives. That was really the first book that just kind of opened me up to this idea of I was made for more. Like, I was made for more than just the things that maybe I thought society told me that I was made for. So Rachel Hollis is an amazing mentor. She also has so much free content on her website, all of that. So number one, I started listening and reading her content. The other person I started listening to was Brendon Burchard, and he has a book all about high performance habits, the things that you can do to change your life and the actual habits that you can put into every single day. And that's really helpful to me as I'm a 7 on the Enneagram, so I'm a little all over the place. So it's really helpful for me to have somebody pinpoint the things that I need to do in order to be a high performer. Another teacher that I found in this space is Ed Mylett. Ed Mylett is an entrepreneur extraordinaire. Like, he's literally come from the bottom and rose to the top, and he loves to empower and teach other people about how he's done it. His podcasts are so amazing, and you'll get something out of his podcast, whether you're an entrepreneur, you're a mother, you're a father, anything. His podcasts are amazing. The second thing I started doing was having a gratitude and goals journal. And it doesn't matter where you write these down, it's just super important that you start. This was the journal I started in, Make Today Amazing. I started writing down my gratitudes for the day. So at least 5 gratitudes for the day, and then 10 goals. And now I use this really fancy, cute one from Rachel Hollis. She has a whole line of Start Today journals, but really it's just the practice of doing it. It doesn't matter where you write it down. It's just important that you write it down. So I use this and I write down 5 things I'm grateful for every single day. And then I write down my goals. And that's something that as a mom, I didn't know I could have goals. I didn't know I could dream. I kind of felt like just getting through every day was my purpose and what I was here to do on earth. And when I started to learn that, wow, I can dream and I can have goals and ambitions for my life, I literally feel like my heart came alive. So I have goals written down that are big, audacious goals that, keep me striving and going. But the coolest thing is when you start writing down goals and you actually achieve them, it's amazing. It's like such an amazing thing. One goal I started writing down was that I live in a house on land. That wasn't even in my 5-year plan or mine and my husband's, but I just started writing it down. And that goal actually came to fruition within 6 months. And I honestly think it's because this opportunity arose, and because I was already writing it down and I was looking for that, I actually saw this as an opportunity and something that would meet our goals. And so now it's almost been 2 years that we've lived in our house on land, and it's just amazing when you see those goals actually come to fruition. The third thing that I started doing that's really helped me with my personal development is what I like to call front loading. And in the morning, I have a sheet that's called my morning intentions. And actually, you can, in the link below, you can grab a free version of this so you can do the same thing at home. But basically, I just write down my affirmation statements, my goals, my gratitude. It's one place I can have it all in one spot. But I also write down the kind of person that I want to be that day. And I'm intentional about what I want to show up as. My favorite part is the actual planning ahead for a situation that could trip me up in my day and how the best version of me would handle it. That has been so helpful to me because if I have a doctor's appointment and I have to bring my kiddos with me, well, one thing that could trip me up is that I can't stay focused and I get really frustrated. So the way the best version of me would handle that is I would plan ahead and bring activities and bring extra things. It just really helps me to where when that thing happens that is tripping you up, you already know what to do because you already planned for it. So like I said, you can grab this free sheet down there. There's a link in the comments and you can get this and start doing it even today. The fourth thing that I started doing was attending conferences. Like I told you before, I was attending conferences for basketball and team development, but I actually started attending conferences for personal development. Now, there's a whole array of different conferences you can attend. You can spend thousands and thousands of dollars, or you can find ones that are more affordable. And the fifth thing I did was I committed to habits. And the 3 habits that I've really committed to are working out, water, and washing my face. Working out every day. I commit to exercising at least 30 minutes a day because my physical body, moving it around, is going to impact my mental health and help me so much. The next thing is water. I make sure that I am drinking half my body weight in ounces of water every single day. It's literally amazing what happens to your body and your health when you start drinking enough water. And then the last thing is washing my face, which just means putting myself first, taking care of me, taking care of the things that I need. I mean, that's as simple as putting on makeup and getting dressed, but just taking care of myself, committing to those 3 habits has impacted my life so much. So I hope that you've enjoyed this video. I hope you've enjoyed listening to my tips about personal growth and development. If you would like to continue to see more of this kind of content, come follow me on Instagram. I literally try to inspire and encourage every single day on my Instagram feed. Like I said, comment, subscribe, like this video, and I appreciate you guys watching, and I'll see you in the next